Yo gamers! Eddie's Anime here, back with a new Nagatoro video. It has been a minute because obviously I stopped doing chapter reviews and they're not coming back, by the way. Please don't ask. But we do have a Nagatoro video and it is a possibly controversial one. I asked Reddit for their hottest Nagatoro take. As you can see, I posted, what is your hottest Nagatoro take? Need help, want to make a video reading some spicy Nagatoro takes, so don't let me down and give me your worst. And then I offered a hot take of my own, saying that my hot take is that Nagatoro was kinda super mid till about 70 chapters in, but it's been absolutely peak ever since then, and I still think that holds true. I think the first part was readable, kind of fun parts, but not the most Eddie core manga in the world, but then ever since it, you know, maybe it was because Tsunomiya came in. I don't know. But ever since around chapter 70, it's been peak. So, you know, it is what it is. And by Tsunomiya, I'm talking about the cousin, not the other one. Because then people will be like, well, Tsunomiya was actually in like chapter 13. I don't care. I'm going to stop rambling. Subscribe if you're new. And let's get into the video. Heck yeah. Also, I'm going to try to keep spoilers to a minimum, but there always is that possibility. So if you haven't watched the anime or read the manga, definitely don't watch this. And if you're anime only, I'm going to try not to have any manga spoilers. But I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch season 2, so I don't know where season 2 ended. Hey man, my fault, OG. Okay, skipping those manga spoilers. Okay, this is a pretty good one to start off with. I don't like the fan service. Now, this one is a bit of a double-edged sword in my opinion, because, yes, I agree, fan service isn't what I read Nagatoro for, if I'm being honest. Like, the only character that, when I look at them, my mind thinks fan service might be President, but that's about it. But on the other hand, you have to think about it this way. It is a manga by Nanashi744, or whatever the numbers are, a former doujin artist with many insane doujins. So, when you think about the target audience, the mangaka's previous works, and you just think this is the tamest he will probably ever get, it is kind of just one of those things where you gotta kind of take the L, because honestly, without Nanashi doing what Nanashi does, who knows, maybe this manga would have been canceled early, because maybe early on, nobody cared for the story. I'm gonna tell you, to be honest, like I said earlier, I thought it was kind of mid up until a certain chapter, so maybe other people wouldn't even have given it a shot if it wasn't the fan service. I'm not saying that's the right thing to do. I'm just saying it's a possibility because I know there's a lot of Nagatoro fans that do like the fan service. Obviously in the Reddit, you're in a Nagatoro Reddit because you actually care about the story. But there's a lot of people that aren't that into the story but like the fan service. So it's kind of an L, but that's kind of an anime thing in general. But yeah, my explanation wasn't the best, but I hope you guys get what I mean. I'm obviously agreeing with this take, but I understand why the fan service is there. And I know someone's gonna say it's important to the plot, but even when new stuff is in the plot, that doesn't mean you have to show it. Now, once again, I'm not saying he's right or wrong for showing it. I'm just saying, because I know that's in the replies here. I didn't really read all of them. I'm just kind of saying my take on them in general. All right, next take. The anime should have had better production quality. I think it's fine. I mean, I guess I can see your point, but for a rom-com kind of thing, it's not the worst. It could have been a lot worse. It's just kind of standard. But at the same time, I'm a Tokyo Ghoul fan, so I never forgive anime fans for complaining about decent enough adaptations because I know what I've lost. Sorry that you have to be on the opposite end of my butthurt-ism, but that's how it is. This guy right here is comparing it to Nichijou and Kaguya-sama, but at the same time, Nagatoro is just not on that level, unfortunately. An anime like Kaguya-sama is gonna get a good adaptation. Like, I'm sorry, it's just how it goes, I feel like, and it's obviously one with a lot of care. Nagatoro's isn't one without care, but it just kind of happens, you know? It just kind of is an adaptation. Okay, I wanted to elaborate on a couple of things I just said. So basically, instead of saying Kaguya-sama is the type of anime that will get that type of adaptation, I guess what I should have said is it is a type of series that would warrant that type of adaptation. Series that get people so excited that the community just absolutely is the most insane thing on the planet, like Kaguya-sama, like Chainsaw Man recently, even Bleach's newest adaptation. I feel like things like that definitely are more often than not gonna be taken with care than the series like a Nagatoro or something of that level. Now, obviously, on both sides, there are exceptions, like I said, a Tokyo Ghoul, or, on the flip side, something that you wouldn't expect to get as good of an adaptation as it did, Bocchi the Rock in recent times. One of my favorite anime ever, and I didn't even think I'd like it going into it. it just slapped because the adaptation went way harder than it needed to when the series initially wasn't even, you know, one of those Goliaths of a series. I'm not saying it didn't have its fan base, but it definitely didn't have the fan base it had now. So yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, but I did want to add that in there, that certain series just do warrant a great adaptation because the studios more times than not know it's gonna go crazy, but sometimes it backfires. So yeah, but I don't disagree that it's not the best adaptation possible in terms of the production quality. I just think it's fine. And this guy also makes a good point. In key moments, they do show it really well. Like, you notice, especially in the hair. In normal scenes, it's like just black, kind of like this, but then on the scenes with the good lighting and the nice hair follicles, you can see them, it's kind of got this purple tint. I'll try and show a picture right here or something. So they do that, but like, once again, it's just kind of a standard anime production. On the other hand, I'm an Angel's Next Door Spoils Me Rotten light novel fan, and that adaptation had even worse production quality, in my opinion. So, once again, be happy with what you get, man, if it's not bad. Be happy with what you get if it's not bad. The downvoted comments is the real hot takes. That is true. Okay, the glorification of Senpai in this fan base is kind of weird. He's nowhere near a Chad. Man's literally just acts like a slightly realistic person, and everybody in the sub loses their mind. Also, the sexualness of this manga lately is really off-putting. I don't like looking at naked 15-year-olds. I like the story, but goddamn, is the visual storytelling hard to get through at times. Okay, let's break this down. Chad Pai? There's no way you're gonna say Senpai isn't a Chad. Hear me out. I get what you're saying, but there are also manga where this is the main character. Compared to that, Senpai is a fucking Chad. I don't care what anybody says. And once again, I already covered the fan service thing. At the end of the day, it's kind of the L you gotta take with these types of anime. If you don't want fan service, realistically, there are a lot of anime out there for that, and you can go check those out. That's how I see it, at least. But I'm not going to tell someone what to watch and not watch. You know, I'm just saying, if you absolutely cannot do fan service, I'm not saying you can't complain about it, obviously. You can complain about it, and then also just watch stuff that isn't that. But if you want to watch Nagatoro and not have the fan service, unfortunately, that's not how Nanashi rolls. Once again, go read his doujins. Go read his doujins. Okay, this one might be a little bit of a manga spoiler, but not really. Just skip to this timestamp if you don't want even a chance of it. The series is starting to stagnate heavily because I don't think Nanashi knows what to do once they actually get together. I disagree. I think it just happens that this build-up is going to take a minute, and it's not really that it's going to take a minute. It just feels longer because not only are we getting kind of these two big plots happening at once with the Senpai doing his thing and wanting to get number one in that, and Nagatoro wanting to get number one in this, which both are going to take build up because they both need their fucking training arcs. But second, it is a bi-weekly manga that sometimes takes breaks. If it was like a weekly manga, because even weekly manga sometimes have more pages than Nagatoro has. Sometimes Nagatoro only has like 19, and then sometimes has like 25. But even then, that's like a standard like Shonen Jump weekly manga type of page thing. I'm not saying that's wrong. Nanashi should be taking breaks. I think more manga should be bi-weekly. I'm just saying, compared to everyone being used to the weekly shit, it can also help it feel longer on top of what I said about them both going through these separate arcs at the same time. Especially in a manga like Nagatoro, where we're only used to these little mini arcs, it can make it feel very stagnant. I'm very sympathetic to that, but I disagree at the same time. But that is a very good thought-provoking one. See, that's called Hot Takes for a reason. Alright, non-manga readers, you're safe again. The bullying at the beginning of the story was exaggerated for effect and not anywhere near as bad as the fandom makes it out to be. Well. Okay. This guy makes a good point. Ultra Instinct. The first scene was the worst, but was redeemed in the manga at the end of the chapter sketch. Because, yeah, it would show that she was at least conscious about him. Or, like, especially after a lot of the early bullying, you would see her turn away and be blushing or also be nervous. Even though she wants to make it seem like she knows about all the sexual shit that she's making Senpai really nervous about. But in reality, she's also in the same boat as him. But, let's be real. Some of that shit was crazy. Some of it was kind of crazy. I don't know, man. Maybe it's because I've never been bullied by a girl that I like or whatever, but I don't know, man. I don't know. At least I will say this, it's not as bad as what webcomic Nagatoro would have been if that continued. That's all I'm gonna say. Alright, next. I enjoy the fan service. Me too. They know what they want and they admit it. Fair enough. Hot take. Naruto isn't a Chadpai. He's more like a regular guy. Okay, we're gonna get another one. Bro, it's just... It's kind of a meme, bro, because once again... This guy exists. Fan service in the series can be so out of place, it's laughable, true. And Senpai isn't a Chad, not gonna lie, he's pretty normal. Yeah, all memes aside, he is pretty normal. He's just a little bit more proactive for his goals in love than some rom-com MCs, and that makes people freak out because they're used to people just being like, I guess, bitches for 400 chapters and then they finally get together in the end. Woohoo. Season 2 over Season 1, I didn't watch it. People, okay, this is a long, I ain't reading all that. The best thing Naruto could say is, I would really like you if you didn't tease me all the time. I'm so confused by what you actually want. But that's the thing, when you're a little, well, not necessarily as bad anymore, but his social anxiety, I don't want to say it's social anxiety if it's really not, but like he wasn't as good at social interaction at the start as he is now. But even then, he still got some of that nervousness. People like that can't as easily just say things like that. It's a case of easier said than done. But I do get what he's saying. Nanashi should have completed the series in 70 to 80 chapters. It started as an innovative fetish manga. Is it really an innovative fetish manga? Like, this isn't the first teasing manga in the world. There's a lot of them out there. And it's not even the best one. The best one is the one that isn't sexual, which is Takagi. Kill me in the comments, but I don't care. I'm just spitting facts. It's just my opinion now. Calm down. With a great execution, but it became a run-of-the-mill rom-com when the femdom got watered down. 774 stopped wasting his talent on this well and move on. Well, that's just another case of fan base being carried over to something new. He obviously wants to do an actual romance story, and it all started when he made that Naruto Hinata doujin. He was like, damn, maybe I want to make a story with real love, and that's what he's trying to do. Not a lolly getting screwed by a fucking pig or a gorilla, because both of those happened in one of his doujins. So this is better, in my opinion. This is better. I don't know what else to say to that. The first few chapters are good, actually, but only in hindsight. I disagree. Early series just wasn't that good for me, but it's not necessarily bad. It's just not as good as it is now. Not nearly as good as it is now. And even knowing stuff now, it doesn't make it better for me. Like other series, like, let's say, an Attack on Titan, where the context could make it better. Or like a, I don't know, a Fate Stay Night after you've finally seen Fate Zero or something. Those are series that are better with context, but Nagatoro, I don't think it helps that much, realistically. Nagatoro will be the one to confess first? I think it's gonna be Senpai. I think the amount of nudity in the current chapter is kind of overwhelming. Like, I thought it was already hard to share the series with others, but my god, there's no explaining what the fuck is happening now. You do realize that it was already a weird manga to recommend to others in the first place, right? But I get what you're saying, but it's just kind of funny. Realistically, if you want to recommend your friends a wholesome rom-com, like this guy, like, no, look, it's wholesome, I swear. There's a lot better wholesome manga out there than Nagatoro. And I know you guys are going to get mad at that because you're Nagatoro fans. I'm a Nagatoro fan too. But if I really wanted to recommend my friend that doesn't like shit like this, a manga, it's not going to be Nagatoro. Now, if I have a friend that likes shit like this, like my friend John, because I actually have gotten him to read Nagatoro, I will tell him to read it. And he did like it. So, you see, you just gotta know which friends like what type of shit. Because some friends are going to be cultured, some of them are not. And that is fine either way. People like what they like. My hot take is that the dub is actually great. I only watched the one episode, so I can't really talk too much, because I watched it just so I can make a video on it to see whether it was good or bad. I didn't really like that first episode, but maybe it got better. I mean, there's been cases where a dub fell flat at first because maybe the character, like, and same thing can happen in the sub as well, or I guess the original, where they're not fully feeling like the character yet. I mean, this also happens in like live action shows where an actor isn't that character yet, but after a few episodes, maybe a couple seasons, they really are that role. You almost can't distinguish them from that person because you feel like they are that person because they're just so good at that role at that point. But it takes time for sure. So maybe it's better now. I don't know. Maybe it's not. All right, judo art came out of nowhere. Well, that's just not true. I'm pretty sure it was like hinted at some points, but I don't remember, to be honest. I don't remember. It's been a minute since I reread it, but I remember rereading it and thinking that there was some sort of connection to the judo stuff. Anyways, sorry, I'm going through this too fast. I read the rest of it. I like what it ended up being, but it felt like it was inserted in order to give the series stakes. Even if that is true, I think that's fine. Not every story in the world has been set up from the start. All right, let's look at battle shonens or other long series, because this is the easiest to go to. I mean, Itachi and Naruto. I'm pretty sure that wasn't planned out what ended up happening, but it happened and it was great. And it still fit. I mean, it's gonna happen every time a story ever comes out. There's no way you can plan every single thing that ever happens in your story because you don't know until you're actually writing it how it's gonna pan out. I've been all over the place in this video in terms of my explaining, but I hope I'm getting across decently. It's just bad, but yeah, I think that's fine. But I also don't think it came out of nowhere. The Chad Pie memes are idiotic and completely misunderstand Naruto's character and growth. Well, that's the problem. You're talking about completely misunderstanding about a meme. It is a meme. If you're looking at memes for character analysis, don't. More is that a hot take? More fan art? My take is disliking the fan service of President Shiki. It just feels out of place. I do like Shiki as a character though, but I get what you're saying about the fan service. But once again, it's just another case of it being a fan service manga where you put it in there just to put it in there. My side note is that I like Shiki as a character, but I don't disagree with the fan service just kind of being there. But I don't know, man. I can't really say anything else besides like it's Nanashi. What do you expect? But I'm not trying to deflect criticism. I'm trying to find a good way to put this because I do agree that it's not needed. But I don't see Nanashi introducing a character with the body of Shiki without any fan service. That's a bad way to put it, but that's the only way I can put it. Alright, the second part of this is manga stuff, so I'm going to continue. I want Nagatoro to be more brutal and mean like in the webcomic. In the anime and manga, she's way too tame, especially as of late. That is the real hot take because it has the most downvotes. Honestly, here's my take. I think we should get the webcomic continuation because that would be crazy. I don't know if I'd like it as much as the manga, but for those people, I think it would be perfect. Nanashi can do it. Why not just do it, man? Why not just do it? Make the webcomic. Just keep it going, bro. Okay, the fact that we've had two that I gotta open up like this means these are the real hot takes. Senpai is still very far from chat to prove himself. Okay, that one's kind of manga-ish, so we're gonna go to this one. Needs more NTR. Make Naga work for it. Lol. My real take is that we're going arguably too fast. We're pushing the end of the series too quickly. I don't feel like it's wrapping up. I don't feel like it's wrapping up, to be honest. And definitely does not need NTR at all. It does not need NTR at all. What are you talking about? What the fuck? Okay, those are pretty much all the ones that I thought would be good for the video because a lot of them were like manga spoilers and whatnot. And yeah, I think it was a good little conversation we had there. It was a nice little thing, you know? Thank you guys for responding to my my Reddit post. And even at the end of the day, even if we all disagree on different things, at the end of the day, we are all Nagatoro fans. Or if you're not, then we're all anime fans. And if you're somehow watching this and you're not an anime fan, then at least we're all human beings that can accept different opinions and different takes and different upbringings and everything and still be decent humans towards each other. So don't take anything too seriously that I said in this video. It's literally just about a fucking manga written by Nanashi, who honestly should be locked up. Have you read his manga? Have you read his fucking doujins? If you haven't, I've made 2 videos on those doujins with a 3rd video on the way, so you should definitely go check those out. It's been Eddie Hates Anime. Have a great day. Read Nagatoro if you haven't. Somehow if you somehow haven't read it and you're still at the end of this video, go read it. And peace. Bye.